I'd like to call the Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Sunday. Mumgard. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Klug. Stubbe. Engberg.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
Copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. For council members, most of the voting system now with the move back in is working, not all of it, but you should be able to do electronic voting tonight instead of roll call. So just a reminder on that. Administrator's report, please, Mr. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Today is National Night Out Day, when we honor the brave men and women of law enforcement and promote police community partnerships. Unfortunately, today is also Excessive Heat Day in Papillion. So the police department members are doing what they can today in neighborhood splash pads and other gatherings, but we unfortunately had to cancel the big activities down in City Park. There will be a last try at Summer Kids Triathlon this coming Saturday, August 6th. Starting at 8:30 a.m. at Papillion Bay Aquatic Center. You can register on the city's website and search for Kids Triathlon. Finally, budget information has been posted in Dropbox for the council to review. The introduction to the budget, scheduled for 2 weeks from tonight on August 16th, is the first formal public action. There will be a special budget meeting immediately following the regular city council meeting on September 6th. And as of today, we do not know yet whether the city will be required to participate in the joint county-wide public hearing, which would potentially take place at the end of September. Finally, I would like to congratulate City Administrator Amber Powers on the birth of her second child back on July 21st. Amber's currently on maternity leave, so if you have any issues or questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilman Glover. Do you have any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item D1, Ordinance 1971, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG Agricultural, R2 Single Family Residential, R4 Multifamily Residential, and GC General Commercial to R4 Multifamily Residential for the property legally described as attractive land being a replatting of the following described properties. Tax lots 6A, 1B3, tax lots 8A and 8B, tax lot 7A, tax lot 14B, 1A, tax lot 34A, tax lot 38, and in the north half of the section 27, township 14 north, range 12 east of the 6 p.m. Sarpy County, Nebraska, tax lot 7B in the southeast quarter of northeast quarter of section 28, township 14 north, range 12 east of Sarpy County, lots 1, 2, and 3, Chapman and Horns Edition, lot 2, Deloy Edition, replat 1, and lots 1 and 2, Deloy Edition, replat 2, generally located on the northwest corner of South Washington and Lincoln Street. The applicant's the city of Papillion. Is there a council member that will introduce? Introduced by Councilman Engberg. And just for the public, because there's signs posted on the city park, and it sparked a lot of discussion when they see R4, which is multifamily. I think some people have thought the city's selling the park and putting in apartments. Not the case. We've acquired that parkland over a long period of time, so there's a whole bunch of different lots, legal descriptions, zoning, and so we're putting it all into one big platted lot to simplify the legal description, make things a lot easier, so more of an administrative. Anything else to add to that, Mr. Struesma? No, okay. No, yeah, the city's not selling the park. Item D2, Ordinance 1972. An ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG Agricultural to CC Community Commercial, MU Mixed Use, R4 Multifamily Residential, R4 PUD2 Multifamily Residential Planned Unit Development, specific and RE Residential Estates, for the property legally described as part of the Tax Lot 7, Section 12, Township 13 North, Range 12 East of the 6 p.m. Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located southeast corner of South 72nd Street and Capehart Road. The applicant is Gene Graves Oakleaf. Is there a council member will introduce? Introduced by Councilman Glover. Item F1, Resolution R220113, a resolution to approve the Second Amendment to the lease agreement between Omaha Cellular Telephone Company doing business as Verizon Wireless of Bedminster, New Jersey, and the City of Papillion. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R220113? Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Klug. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F2, Resolution R220129, a resolution to approve a one-year extension of the West Papillion Catholic Community Preliminary Plat. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R220129? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any proponents or opponents? Welcome. If you'd state your name and address for the record.
My name is Patrick Flood, 10250 Regency Circle, Omaha, appearing on behalf of West Papillion Community, Catholic Community. The synopsis as provided by Mr. Gibbons is accurate and complete, and I have no further comments to make, but I'm here to answer any questions.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any other proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item F3, Resolution R220130, a resolution to approve the installation of a stop sign on West 5th Street at the intersection of North Adams. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R220130? Motion by Councilman Klug. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Yes, Mr. Sunday. Can you turn the mic on real quick? Bottom right.
Okay,
There you go.
thank you. I thought you changed it. It's my understanding the stop sign's going 5th Street, not on Adams, is that correct?
Just to make sure I'm accurate, Mr. Kleffner, would you want to clarify?
Michael Kleppner, Public Works Director. Yes, the stop sign would be placed on the east and westbound traffic on 5th Street coming up to Adams.
Okay,
That answer?
yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other discussion?
And this has been through Safety Committee and it was recommended for approval, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We went to Public Safety Committee and then was recommended approval. Any other discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F4, Resolution R220132, a resolution to approve an application from American Legion, 230 West Lincoln Street, Papillion, Nebraska, 68046, to extend the outdoor premises of their Class C liquor license. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R220132? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion. Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Got a fairly quick agenda tonight. That's all the regular agenda items. Next would be committee reports, and I don't think any committees met in the last 2 weeks, so no updates there. Any comments from the floor? And as you're coming up, and in case anybody else, just a quick reminder, under the Nebraska Open Meetings Act, any of the comments are not published agenda items, so we're not allowed to discuss them. So we can listen, but we won't be answering. A lot of people wonder why, but it is the Open Meetings Act, and we've usually got about a 5-minute limit. But welcome. Name and address, please.
My name's Chris Kenius, 8533 South 102nd Street, Lewiston, Nebraska. Good evening. I am a board member for the Tri-City Food Pantry. We're a 501c3 organization that's dedicated to providing resources to Sarpent County residents most in need. This includes food, toiletries, paper products, even pet food. During normal operations, we serve over 425 people in a given month. In times of challenge, those numbers skyrocket as we experienced during the floods of 2019 and during COVID. We're experiencing similar numbers today as economic factors are weighing on so many of our community, causing the number of residents to be served to increase along with the cost of meat and dairy. My wife is a volunteer there today, and she said the shelves were about empty. So in addition to those activities, we recently, with our leadership, we reviewed how we can provide pantry services to our residents as compared to the best practices across the industry, and how we can change to address food insecurities while providing respect and dignity to those in need. This is a client choice model. It is a model that allows residents to come in and select food off of the shelves as opposed to having a bag handed to them. It allows them to serve food that maybe avoid food that maybe they're allergic to. It allows them to choose food that meet their dietary restrictions. This client choice model requires additional space, but it allows our clients to have that additional dignity and additional respect that they so richly deserve. In addition, we've reviewed how Papillion was impacted by natural disasters, the floods of 2019 and COVID, and as well as what we're going through today, to try and figure out how we can provide additional resources and become critical in infrastructure to the residents of Papillion. We are designing to become a collection point during disasters, a place where residents can get water and food, power, shelter, communications, centralized plans for a centralized place for additional services through partnerships with other organizations. The Pantry has launched our Going to Give At campaign. It's an ambitious plan to raise funding we need to build a freestanding facility in Papillion that will be aligned with those above goals. We are shovel ready. We have architecture plans. We have support. We are working on the funding capabilities of that. And we have identified the land that's perfect for that facility, and it's on American Parkway. It's Papillion-owned land on American Parkway. This land is not visible from any major street, so it provides for privacy for our clientele. It is centrally located, and it has room for a garden, which we use to support our residents as well. This land is typically not desirable for small businesses due to its topography and lack of signage and frontage, and we hope you'll see our proposal for this land as an ideal public-private collaboration to serve the needs of our community. I do have letters of support here from over 60 organizations and individuals in support of our plan. I invite you to come down to the Pantry to take a tour, to see what we do, to see how we do it, and to hear about the collaborations that we've been having with other local groups, as well as ask questions about the infrastructure that we provide. We'd welcome your support, and as we continue to serve those that are in need. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from the floor? See none. Any council comments?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mumgard.
I'll just point out that the Tri-City Food Pantry needs has been discussed in committees. I'll just make the comment that it's interesting to learn that they would like to improve, that they need some assistance in moving into a different location, and I'll just take this opportunity to maybe put it out there to the public that if anybody's out there that can financially assist the Tri-City Food Pantry, that I am one person who is very, very supportive of doing that, and I'm glad that the message has come to us, and I hope that people who see this watch this program and our meeting, sit there and think for a second about how they can help the Tri-City Food Pantry.
Thank you. Any other council comments? Just a couple things from the last couple of weeks. We want to thank everybody for participating in the joint Planning Commission City Council meeting. I think it's good to get together with that group and have those discussions, and I think at a minimum we'll probably try to do that about once every 18 months, find a relevant topic and do that. I think is very worthwhile, so thank you for that. Had an interesting thing. One of the our congressional delegation had reached out. We've done this once before, but there is a nationwide program where they host diplomats from around the world and teach them about American democracy, and they spend a lot of time in DC and they go other places, but a couple of times they've ended up in Omaha and they call Papillion and say, well, could you explain local government to them? So I ended up spending the afternoon with two individuals from the British Parliament. So that was very interesting. Some of the things they deal with, surprisingly, immigration was a major issue. I would have never thought about that one. So that was interesting, unique experience. I appreciate that. We had a wastewater agency meeting this month. Nothing major, more administrative type things, which that's good because up to now that whole organization's really been forming. So a lot of policy items. This one is more administrative. Then the League of Municipalities, I think you're aware I'm on the executive committee for that, and we had an annual meeting for budget planning. Didn't do anything legislatively, so nothing really to share there. But then we did have a United Cities meeting, and I think it's just another good reminder. If you have any items of interest from a legislative perspective that you might want us to do some research on and potentially propose legislation, now's a really good time to be bringing that up. So let Mr. Green know if you've got some items there, and we can start working on those and get those into the United Cities. We do have a closed session tonight, just for education of people watching, or if we got any, well, we don't have any students yet, school's not in session. There's only 3 times we can go into closed session, and it's defined by state law. One is if we're doing any negotiations, specifically around land. Obviously, you don't want to talk your negotiation strategy in the public, and so we can do that behind closed doors. If there's ever a personnel issue, obviously you don't want to cause harm to an individual, so you can talk in closed session there. And so we do have a closed session tonight. One of the things with state law, we can only talk about the things that we're supposed to go into closed session on. If we get off topic, I think it's a misdemeanor crime, and the thing, state law also says when we go behind closed session, whatever we talk about, we cannot come out and talk about. So it's a rare opportunity, but we are going into closed session tonight for real estate negotiations. Is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss real estate negotiations? Motion by Councilman Glover, second by Councilwoman Klug. Any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 ayes, 0 nays.
I will restate for the record, the purpose of the closed session is only to discuss real estate negotiations. Closed session will include the mayor, city council, deputy administrator of community development, the city attorney, and the city clerk. I will restate the only topic discussed in closed session was real estate negotiations. There's a motion to come out of closed session? Motion by Councilman Sunday. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Please vote.
Eight ayes, 0 nays.
We have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Glover. Please vote.
8 ayes, 0 nays.
We are adjourned.